Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's learning session. My name is Gino. Happy 2022. If this is the first learning session that you're joining for this year, we did one on personal branding a few weeks ago. And now I'm building upon that one with our topic for today on authentic communication and communicating from the inside out, communicating from our core values. Before we get into the learning session, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I know many of you already know me personally and we've worked together, but some of you may be joining for the first time and have not yet met me. So I teach at a variety of colleges. Some of the big names I've worked with in the past include University of Central Florida in Orlando, Columbia University, and the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City. And I currently teach with Baruch College. I also do work on the side. Since 2013, I've been doing coaching and consulting with my own company, Right Brain Journeys, where I have the mission of bringing this communication, specifically interpersonal communication, skills and insights that I've been working with students for over 13 years now, bringing these insights that are life-changing into the workplace and into the lives of the everyday person. So that's the focus of these learning sessions, is to provide you with insights about human behavior. So at the end, I'll talk about some additional options that we can continue to work together if this stuff is really exciting for you. When we learn to communicate from the inside out, we're learning to connect our head to our heart. And we do this through conscious communication. Why does this matter? These topics that I do in these LinkedIn Live learning sessions, these topics are designed to help you do that, to communicate from the inside out, to connect your head to your heart. And we do it because life gets easier. We get to the good stuff faster. And when I say the good stuff, I mean the stuff that you're like, yes, please, give me more of that. I want more of that. Those kinds of things in our lives. We attract them because when we're conscious of it, we're no longer working against ourselves. So that's why I mean that it's life changing. We get to the good stuff faster. It's my pleasure to work with you in these very concise LinkedIn meetings. I keep them about 20 minutes of lecture where I'm giving you some deep insights, and then I leave it open for questions. So if you're joining live right now, go ahead. I have my chat available. Go ahead and drop in the chat where you're joining from. Would love to see. If you're watching this on replay, welcome as well. Let us know where you're from, and you may type in the chat questions that you have at any time. But I'm specifically going to reserve the last 10 minutes or so. We'll go as late as 2:30 if we need to answer any questions that you have for this topic. The format, so 20 minutes of lecture, 10 minutes for Q&A, and type in the chat at any time. You're going to see me looking down here. I have a little cheat sheet here, some notes that I make that keep me on track. That's one of my public speaking tips. Keep an outline handy, so it makes it really easy that you're hitting all your key points while you're doing what's called extemporaneous speaking, and that's basically having a conversation from prepared notes. So I love the topic that we're getting into today. The topic that we're getting into, hey, Carolyn, the topic that we're getting into today is this core values discovery. And this is not my original exercise, that several people have done this. So I have also adopted this exercise because when I first did it, it was amazing for me to really call attention. And this is what I mean by consciousness, to think about what resonates with me. And let me stop for a moment and talk about that word resonate. We use this language that we get from our culture. We hear other people talk about things and they use words like it resonates, and then we just incorporate that into our vocabulary and we don't really think about what that means. Here's the significance of the word resonate. If you think about clashing cymbals inside of a room, to resonate means that sound waves reverberate, they bounce off. It creates an energetic wave. It resonates. We feel it. So it is a physical experience when something resonates. And emotion, I often use emotion and energy, those two E words. I say E for E, or E equals E. Energy equals emotion when I talk about it. Emotions are a chemical reaction in our body, chemical energy that our brain picks up on this chemical energy, and then our head makes sense of what that energy is, and we label it. It's happiness, it's sadness, it's disgust, it's fear, it's jealousy, it's joy. We label that energy. But we need to come back to that basics because that energy becomes our GPS system, our guidance system. And that really is at the core of why I call my company Right Brain Journeys. It's a metaphor for getting us back to paying attention to this emotional GPS. So this topic today that I'm going to lead you through these 3 exercises is about that. It's getting to what resonates with you. Another way to think about it is what triggers you. It's a popular term today, and we often think of the word trigger as a negative thing. So it'll trigger fear or anxiety in us. So that can be true. But I also want you to think of trigger on the positive side. When I see pictures of my nieces and nephews, it triggers joy in me. When I walk down the street and I see other people smile, when I see cute dogs, dang, there's a lot of cute dogs right now. I've been walking down the sidewalk lately, and there's some really cute dogs in the neighborhood. When I see that, it triggers a joyful response in me. So these core values are just that. It's what resonates or what triggers you. And that will allow you to, for the joyful ones, go after the good stuff in life. Yes, please give me more of that. And then when we know how to communicate from the inside out, communicate from these core values, we're going to be empowered to ask for more of those things that bring us joy, the more of the yes, please kinds of things. That's the point of this. Okay, so if you have a pen and paper handy, go ahead and take some notes on this. I am going to provide in the upload of this video, I'm going to provide you with the links so that you'll be able to have the exercise here. I actually have a worksheet, 3-page worksheet for each of the 3 steps on the core values discovery exercise. So again, if you're tuning in here, I'll put these links in the post of this video. So step 1, if you have your paper and pen handy. Step 1 is to discover what resonates with you. So I provided on page 1 of this worksheet is a long list of words like abundance, acceptance, accountability, achievement, advancement, alphabetically all the way down to wealth, well-being, wisdom, and zeal. So this, of course, is not an exhaustive list of words, but this is a good place to start. And simply work through this list, use a highlighter, use your pen, circle around this idea of observing what resonates with you. Some of the ones for me, abundance, yes. Acceptance is nice, but I can't say it really resonates with me. Accountability, it doesn't resonate with me. Achievement, yeah, I'm very achievement oriented. I see that word and my head shakes, yes. So don't overthink step 1. Literally let your body have a physical reaction. If it's interesting, circle it, highlight it. If it doesn't call out to you, skip past it. Most people, as it says in step 1 here in the directions, most people will have somewhere between 20 and 30 words when they move through step 1. And I give people about 3 to 5 minutes to do this exercise of step 1 because I don't want you to overthink it. Again, let it come from your body, from your heart, not from your mind. Don't overthink it. Because if you overthink it, probably every single word is valuable, but is it really resonating, creating an emotional or energetic reaction in you? That's what I'm looking for in step 1. Okay, so once you do step 1 in about 3 to 5 minutes, step 2 is going now to have you start to become aware of these values. So we observe them, then we become aware of them. And in the awareness, it's going to have you go through those lists. So maybe you have 20 to 30, and you're going to lump them into categories, 5 to 6 categories, because you're going to notice some words like abundance and wealth and playfulness and fun. Playfulness and fun are similar, right? Abundance and wealth are similar. There's joy and there's happiness also on this list. They're similar. So step 2, I've created boxes for you in the worksheet with the link I'm going to share here in the post of this video on LinkedIn. They provide spaces for you then to look through that step 1 list, every word you highlighted or circled, and start grouping all the similar ones. So I would put joy and happiness, abundance and wealth, wisdom and intelligence, for example, may be connected as well. Okay, so that's step 2. You're chunking them into categories. Now we're starting to make sense of this. When we have categories, they become organized. And when we're organized, we can do something with it. Okay, then step 3. Step 3 is about looking through those groupings of words that you did in step 1 and then narrowing down each category to one core value. So you will have anywhere, people typically have at least 4, anywhere I'd say from 4 to 6. Could you have more than 6? Yes, but it becomes more difficult to remember that list, and it becomes more difficult to make sure that you are living out and embodying, which I'll talk about, living out and embodying those values. So I want you to think about whether you really should be having more than 6. If you have more than 6, you maybe need to narrow it down and see the overlap and try to do step 2 a little bit more carefully to categorize them better. Okay, so this, when you get through step 3 and you come with each category, a single word from that category representing. So for example, if I had wealth in abundance, I would probably choose from that category the word abundance. And this truly is your exercise. Why me choosing abundance over the word wealth? Well, it's simply because I've been raised, I guess is the word, over my lifetime, I come to associate wealth exclusively in financial terms. And yes, I do appreciate and value money, and it's nice to have financial wealth. However, I've also learned over time that I'm a balanced person. I am not willing to sacrifice the balance in my life. I don't want to work 60 hours a week, nor do I want to not have time to exercise or sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. I am willing to have an abundance of time, an abundance of rest, an abundance of physical activity in my life. So I personally, and that's why I mean this is your activity, I personally, if I had to choose wealth or abundance from that category, I think I need to call it abundance because I feel, and that's an important phrase, feeling is an emotion. I feel abundance is better descriptive because it goes beyond just financial wealth and speaks to an abundance of time, an abundance of love, an abundance of friendship, an abundance of physical activity, an abundance of rest, an abundance of adventure. All these things that are exciting and important to Gino. And that's what this is about. So exercise is to get you to do a deep dialogue, which means have a deep conversation with yourself. By the time you're working through step 3, you're really having to be talking to yourself and thinking, what's important to me? What do I really value? Okay? So that's the importance of these 3 steps. It gets you into the deep dialogue and you move into step 3. Why is it important to identify and articulate your core values? It's about living your life with satisfaction, with meaning, with purpose. Those values, that's really who we are at the energetic level. And we get so wrapped up in our physical world, in our physical beings, in our bodies, because we live in these physical spaces, of course, and we do navigate the physical world through these physical bodies. But many of us forget that we are sensory beings, senses. I even like to say, because it's provocative and it gets people to listen, we are sensual beings. We use the word sensual in the sexual realm a lot when we talk about sensuality and sexuality. I'm not talking about sensuality in the sexual realm. I'm talking about sensuality just navigating our daily lives. We have 5, at least 5 senses. Some people argue we have 6 or more, but we have at least 5 known, recognized senses. So when you're navigating the world, the sense of touch, that's feeling. That's picking up on vibrations. Hearing is about picking up on vibrations. Vision is about picking up on light waves, which is a type of frequency, which is a vibration. So we literally are vibrating beings, sensory beings, sensual beings. And when we get fixated just on the physical, we forget this really important aspect. I bring that up, this idea of sensual beings and vibrations and frequencies, because with your core values, that resonation, bring us back to the beginning of the talk today, that resonating element, what triggers us, turns us on in a good way, what turns us off triggers us in a negative way. Those things are creating that energetic, that frequency, that resonating. So when it turns us on, when this is a good trigger, we are vibrating in alignment with ourselves, which is excitement, enthusiasm. We don't burn out as much when we're working from those places. Yes, we live inside a physical body that needs rest and needs to eat. So we can be tired, but we're not exhausted when we're aligned, when we're aligning our actions, our doing with our being, who we are energetically, meaning those values. That's who we are energetically. We are embodying. The idea of embody is to place an energy inside a physical container, inside a physical body. So when you're aware of the values that you embody, you can now align yourself more easily. You can align yourself better with people. If you're on the dating scene like I am, oh, this has been life changing for a single person going on dates. I can see ahead of time by reading visual communication, looking at the online profiles, getting a good idea about who this person is, making an interpretation about whether or not this person aligns with my core values. Because if we don't align with the core values, there's no way I'm going to be spending significant amounts of time. It's certainly not going to be sharing a life with someone who is in such contrast. That's a recipe for unhappiness. I won't get to be who I am with this person. And then if that person is interesting, I can choose to engage and ask some very specific questions to see whether or not my interpretations are right. Sometimes I'm wrong. You interpret it wrong. But I can be conscious. That's the whole point of this. I can ask questions to discover more about whether or not my interpretation of them is right or wrong, and then proceed from there. This is life-changing for seeking jobs because dating is a relationship, but also employment relationships. I can use this to navigate job searches. Do I really want to work here? Am I working here just for a paycheck? Sometimes that answer might be yes. We live in a world where money is a tool that we need to have certain access to things. So sometimes that answer is yes, but I'm making a choice. I know I'm not going to be getting my fulfillment from that work. It's just a pathway to a paycheck. But I will need another pathway in my life to that values fulfillment. Those may be my personal relationships. Those may be volunteer opportunities. But I'm conscious, right? I know not to get disappointed about that job if I take it. It's just a pathway to a paycheck, and I can be okay with that. Or I can say, like at this point in my career, I'm a seasoned expert and professional. It's not just about getting a job I like, it's about working with an organization that is aligned with my values. What does Gino stand for? Because when I put the hours of my life to work for this organization, that can bring not only a higher paycheck, it can bring a greater sense of purpose and meaning in life. If I'm going to be working 40 plus hours a week, I want it to bring some level of purpose because that's a lot of hours of our life each week engaged in this activity. And for me, it's got to be worth more than just money because it's literally the hours of our lives that will not come back. So I want to use this. I want to see the values listed on the company website when I'm applying. Then, just like the date, if I choose to engage with this company, submit an application, if I get invited for an interview, just like with the date, I'm going to ask very specific questions. So when they say, do you have any questions for us? The answer is yes. So you say that you value diversity, which I value. You say that you value diversity. Tell me about your experience with diversity in this organization. What's it been like? Can you tell me about the programs that the company has to promote and really leverage the diversity that's here for the benefit of the business, but also the people? These will get you a better idea, just like a date. You say that you want a long-term relationship. So tell me, what's your vision of your life in 20 years for a date, right? See if you're really aligned with that. That's the importance of these core values. It allows you to go after that good stuff, the yes, please, I want more of that kind of stuff. And for each of us, it's different. Right? We're different human beings. What triggers you in a good way, what turns you on in a good way, is not going to do it the same thing for me. So I have a couple more things to talk about here, and then we'll move into the questions. Anyone else can drop questions in the chat. I am able to see them, which is great. Carolyn, thank you for saying hi. If you're still on at the moment, I'm happy to have you here. It's always fun to work with you, Carolyn. The 3 steps I already talked about. I'll share that link. My values. So when I did this exercise, and it is helpful to repeat it, I say, based on my experience, every 3 years, simply because age and time changes us as human beings. I am now 43, and trust me, I'm not the same as I was when I was 20, definitely not the same when I was 30, and even not the same when I was 38. I have different priorities now in life. I have different desires. Some I already experienced and fulfilled, and some have just come with the maturity of being in my 40s. So every 3 years, repeat this, or after major life events like a pandemic, that shifted a lot of stuff. Could be marriages or divorces, could be deaths of loved ones, could be new jobs, it could be moving to new places, could be the acquisition of wealth or the loss of wealth. Anytime we have these major gains or losses in life, it's a really good idea to come back to this core value exercise. Let these 3 steps guide you to that deeper dialogue, that deeper conversation with yourself, because you may have shifted values. But here are mine. And not only are these my 5 values, the last step I highly recommend is you think about putting them in rank order. What really is your top number 1, and then number 2, 3, 4, 5. Here are mine. Number 1 is consciousness, which actually led to my newsletter, which I'll tell you about in a few minutes here. My newsletter that I do here on LinkedIn is a monthly newsletter, and I'm calling it conscious communication because the more I talk about this stuff, the more I realize that's really at the heart of my work. This idea of communicating from the inside out, from connecting head with the heart, is all about consciousness. And when we say consciousness, what I mean when I say it is be aware of your life. Be awake for your own life. Be aware of what goes on around you. Did you notice if there are clouds in the sky today? Did you notice the temperature? Not the number, but the temperature on your skin. What did it feel like? If you are in a relationship and you hugged or kissed your partner today, your children, your parents, friends, did you feel that, or did you just do it habitually? Because you always do it. Were you there for it? That's really what I want. Are you there for your own life? That's what I mean by consciousness. And I use communication as a tool to do it. So anyway, number 1, consciousness. Number 2, oh, this comes up all the time, enjoyment. I chose that over the word fun, but they're basically the same. I want to have fun with almost everything that I do. If it's not fun, I don't want to do it. And this came on heavily in my 40s, probably because I'm more conscious, my number 1 value, of the fact that time is passing, and 40s are still young, by the way. So for all my 40s and older, it's not old. 20s, when we're in our 20s, we can think that 40 is old. But there are windows of opportunity. I used to be a gymnast. I cannot do gymnastics at 43 like I did when I was 20. My body just will not do it. So I recognize in my 40s now, I've had enough life experience that even though I'm still young, there are windows of opportunities that come with each phase of life. And once it's passed, it's done. So with this idea of consciousness and then number 2, enjoyment, I want to have fun. If I want to try something now, I'm going to try it. I wanted to have a convertible 10 years ago, so I had a convertible. And guess what? It was fun for a little bit, and then I was kind of done with it. I will probably never own another convertible, but I got to have the experience because I wanted it then. So if I want it, I can do it, and it's not going to hurt anybody. I want to have fun. And sometimes the task isn't fun. I'll use a really trivial example. I don't like cleaning. I don't like cleaning the bathroom, but I do love a clean bathroom, and I don't have a cleaning person. So guess who's cleaning his bathroom? Me. So I can find joy sometimes not in the task, but in the result. And that's always in my mind. Oh, I got to clean. Who wants to feel that way? Instead, it'd be like, ooh, I can't wait to have a clean bathroom. So it's just reframing a mindset. I do these little consciousness tricks because I want to have fun as often as I can. I enjoy life. Number 3 for me, my 3rd value, reciprocity. This comes up so much in my conversations. For me, healthy relationships are reciprocal. It is based on the universal rule of give and take, physics, angle in, same angle out. So the idea of reciprocity is giving and receiving. We can get stuck in the cycle, and I'm going to be doing a post about this soon, that we give to receive, but this is negative. It's not going to return the same thing because energetically you're giving not from your heart, you're giving from your head. Giving to receive is I'm going to do this for you, not because I want to see joy in your experience. I'm doing this for you because I'm going to need to ask a favor. I'm going to need something for you. So this is giving to receive. And no, 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 no. Give and receive, which is I am giving to receive the joy that comes with giving. And as a result, that selfless act can trigger that in other people. And then the other thing I want to point out is we often say give and receive as if giving is first and then receiving. So many of us, we were children once, we already received. So it can go receive and then give, which is more the idea of pay it forward. So why are you doing this? What are you going to get out of it? You're going to give because you already received. That's the cycle of things. So reciprocity is highly important. I think about this before I give something. Am I giving to receive or am I giving and receiving? If I give to receive and I don't get what I think I'm going to get in return, am I going to be resentful? If that answer is yes, then I may choose not to do this, or at least I have to reshape my mindset to give and receive instead of giving to receive. Quality, my fourth one, also huge. I'm not about quantity. It's food, clothes, cars, everything for me, every material thing for me, even my relationships. Quality. I want it to be quality. I'm willing to pay more money for good food. I want good. I'm willing to pay more money for nice clothes because I keep my stuff. I am conscious when I'm eating. I don't just shove food in my mouth. I taste it. I enjoy it. So quality is very, very important to me. If it's not quality, I probably won't even bother to engage with it. Number five, connection. Connection with the self, right? It's at the heart of my work. Connecting other people. I love making introductions with people. I love talking to people. I love connecting on the street. I live in New York City. I love connecting with people when I walk down the street, make eye contact. A lot of people do, and they're not creepy. There's some creepy people, but most of them aren't. Most of them, it's just you like a 2 second, and then you nod and you just move on with your day. But we shared something on the street together, a human connection that wasn't creepy. That's me. I like doing that. So, what are your 5 core values? I'm also going to share in the link when I repost this video. I'm going to share my article that I wrote so you can really see step 3, my deep dive, the self reflection into each of these that I kind of articulated for you to encourage you to do that. If you would like guidance with this, I do this values workshop as coaching sessions as well. So the sheet is free. Do that sheet on your own. If you want a guided, deep conversation like I just shared with you, reach out to me. Send me a message on LinkedIn. Check out my website, rightbrainjourneys.com. I love this exercise. It's one of my favorite things. And we can do it as a one-off coaching session, but I also use this as one of the first foundational exercises in my courses. So let me take a few moments here and tell you about this. Oh, Eddie, thank you so much for the nice energy and nice message. I'm going to finish up soon to respect our time, but I'll also take questions. So the first thing that I wanted to invite you to, it's coming up on February 1st. It's with Caitlin Johnson. Caitlin and I were classmates. We did our master's degree together at University of Central Florida, both in the field of interpersonal communication. We've reconnected recently, and it's been magical. She's my work wife. It's been amazing. I am professionally in love with Caitlin Johnson because she is just incredible. And we've created this course that is connecting purpose to profession. It's 6 workshop series. It starts with this values discovery. We're going to be guided. And then we move each week to an area that combines right brain, which is me, and left brain, which is Caitlin. It combines moving from this value resonating place into actionable steps to embed this into your work. I discuss, of course, values. I discuss personal branding. we pull out into outward communication. So we start inside, but then I also help you with a LinkedIn cover video so you can start talking this stuff out loud, which then becomes the magnet to attract these people who are in alignment with you. This is helpful because when you attract people who are in alignment, you're not really selling. They already want it because they value the same thing. They value what you offer. You're now just connecting them with your product or your service, which will enhance their lives because it speaks to their values, because it comes from your values, which are in alignment. So that starts February 1st. I'm putting the link in the replay. Also, feel free to reach out. The second thing that I have on offer is starting on February 6th. February is going to be a busy month. February 6th is virtual public speaking for professionals. I'm starting my 6th cohort, which is unbelievable. I've been teaching public speaking for 13 years at Columbia University, UCF, Baruch College, Fashion Institute of Technology. But a year ago, I have started my own public speaking course to be able to help everyone. Carolyn, thank you. Totally understand. Thank you. Would love to hear from you. Started my own public speaking course because I wanted to make this accessible for the everyday person so that you don't have to go to Columbia or UCF. You can take this online instructor-led 9-week course. So we meet once a week. I'll meet you 6 times. You have weekly modules, 9 weekly modules. I meet live with you on Google Meet 6 times. We're going to practice public speaking on the camera, and I'm going to tell you the best tips and practices for speaking virtually. And then finally, I help you develop essential business skills. We do the values discovery exercise. Then we do an elevator pitch. Then we do a bio or LinkedIn summary for your webpage. Then we move on to a sales pitch presentation. So whether you're pitching yourself and your services in a job interview, whether you are pitching sales to investors, or you're pitching to clients, I'm going to teach you these scientific principles of persuasion. There's a science to it. We study it in our field, and I'll work on that with you. No more than 12 people, starts February the 6th. I'll drop that link and reach out to me. We are getting ready to conclude enrollment because it's going to be starting soon. So if that's interesting, please join me. Anything else? Oh, yes. My monthly newsletter, Conscious Communication. Each month I cover a topic to help you develop this consciousness to connect the head and the heart, to communicate from the inside out. So you're attracting more of that good stuff in life. That's monthly. Join it, subscribe to it. I just put it out about a week ago, and the next one will go out in early March. So thank you, everyone. I'll pause a moment. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for joining. Any other questions or comments? Thanks, Carolyn. Thanks, Eddie. Thank you. Thank you. If you're watching on the replay, feel free to send me a message, comment on the video. I love interacting with people. I'll wait about 30 more seconds in case someone's typing. I wish you all a good week. If you're looking for good books to read, I mentioned the idea of persuasion is a science. Robert Cialdini is a professor, and he wrote the groundbreaking book called Influence, the Science of Persuasion. He just updated it recently, so I teach a persuasion course as well, and I've been rereading his book. It's brilliant, so highly recommend that if you're looking for a good read. Okay, looks like that's it for today. Thanks so much, everybody. I'm going to end the stream. Have a good day.